God is the potter, we are the clay, the work of his hands. It's a really beautiful song. I took up pottery because one of the sins that I struggle with is perfectionism. And I knew that this would be a spiritual practice for me as a recovering perfectionist. One of the first things that I learned is that the clay has to be pliant. If it's too hard, like this lump, it's not responsive to the potter's hands. I can't work with this because it's too hard. So the potter has to knead the clay or put it in a bag with some water and let it sit for a few days until it's malleable. So we're going to start with a piece that's already malleable. So they say the most important part of throwing pots is centering the clay. Because if the clay isn't centered, it feels like it's fighting the potter. See, this is off center. And it's almost like it has a will of its own. So the potter has little hope of shaping this into the thing of beauty that she intends. Watch what happens. It doesn't work, and it makes a mess. And I have felt like that mess from time to time when I was too willful. So now we're going to try again. And this time, we make sure that the clay is malleable. It's got a little piece there. And now I'm going to center it. It feels totally different when the clay is centered. So you can see the difference there. And once the clay is centered, the potter can carefully open it. And now that it's been opened, the potter can shape it into a thing of beauty. And the potter very gently shapes it. And now the clay conforms to the will of the potter. It lets the potter mold it and shape it. And when one is done, you end up with something, I think this is beautiful, but it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. It only has to conform to the will of its creator. because the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And in our case, the beholder is God. So may this Lent find us malleable and centered and open to God, that God the potter may shape us into the work of his hands, because God is the potter and we are the clay, but we need to cooperate. And when we do, God is one amazing potter. Blessings.